Hey everyone, welcome. I'm Anita Wingley.
And I'm Tim Mutu.
And welcome to our first live stream. So, as we get started, can you guys let us know in the chat that you can see us okay? And then also let us know where you're tuning in from and how you first heard about us. We're very curious. And I do see I see some people here that I think are from even before my days from before I went viral. So it's good to see some of you here from many years ago. So
yeah,
today we're going to talk, we're going to share about a couple of things. So we'd love to share a bit about like what's really been happening behind the scenes. We got married in June and then we went viral in July, and that has been quite a whirlwind. And so although we've been posting somewhat consistently since the summer, there's been lots happening behind the scenes. So we'll share a bit more about what the last few months have held, and then a couple of personal updates and some big news. And then we'll share a first look at a project that we've been dreaming about, and we have a little bit of samples that we can show you about, and then we'll talk more about what's next for us.
Let's see who's on.
Awesome. We have Boodlums here viewing from Nashville. If you're tuning in, if you're just hopping in now, let us know where your name and where you're tuning in from. We'd love to hear.
That's awesome.
We're just checking our tech is all working.
It sounds like everyone's hearing us good and viewing us good. Yep.
Okay. Do you want to share anything before I get into
that other than we're just so excited about today and just being able for the first time to do something live like this. And we're just happy to be able to have that opportunity to connect with people. There's so many people that have asked us questions that we're going to respond to some of them. So we're just happy to be online.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. So let's start with a little bit of backstory. As I mentioned, we got married in June. And so while we were dating, I never posted about us on social media. Tim posted a little bit, but I was just really living my life. And I knew that if we had a real relationship, that was ultimately much more important than having a social media, a public relationship where you're posting about yourselves online. But then right before we got married, the day before we got married, I figured maybe now is a good time to make a post about us. So I posted one of our engagement photos, the one with Tim standing on a tree stump, and I wrote the caption, "Forever starts tomorrow." And then about a week or two later, we saw that it had a couple 100,000 views, which is more than any post that I write normally gets. And so we went on social media. We went on our honeymoon and after our wedding. And during that time, we didn't post on social media. Like I could tell that post was getting a little bit of traction, but I was like, as I like to say, sometimes I want to throw my phone in the ocean and leave it there. So then we came back and we could see that the post had gotten some more views. And the thing is, we had already written up our love story for our guests. And we always knew that we wanted to share it publicly, that it would maybe inspire or encourage others. And when we shared it with our wedding guests, we actually had a lot of people say how much it touched them. And so, right after our honeymoon, I had a little window before I had to go back to work. And so I decided I remember it was one day and I got the whole website, our anitaandtim.com website up, and there was no real plan. We just knew that we wanted to share our story and that this was a first step. And during this time, we also got our weddings from our photographer.
Pictures.
Yeah. Maybe 3 weeks after a wedding. And so we owe a huge thank you and want to give a huge shout out to Alana Marie from Legacy Lens Photography, because she took amazing photos, which we loved. And like when I saw them, I actually dropped down on the carpet and because I knew that they were stunning. And so I started to post little bits about our love story, some details from the actual love story already written on our website, and then some details that I had never really shared before. But, you know, we're kind of little snippets of our story that we loved. And then there was one post in particular where I shared that I had never actually prayed for someone tall. And so I thought it was kind of like hilarious of God that it was just something that I never put on like the list for what I wanted in my future spouse, because it just seemed kind of like a shallow thing. But then it was kind of ironic that I didn't pray for someone tall. So God handed me everything else that I asked for in a future spouse, but that person wasn't tall. And so I wrote that post in a story, and that post just shot through the internet, and now it has 77 million views. And then we had other posts go viral, wedding posts. We've had 3 posts go viral in total, which is collectively over 140 million views just on those 3, and a couple million more off of other posts. And then the news publications started coming in. So we got featured in People magazine and Daily Mail the UK, on the MSN homepage twice. And we had other creators creating stories about us from Brazil, Africa, Ireland, Singapore, Hong Kong, Vietnam, Thailand. I was even in a fashion magazine in India, I was like, wow, I didn't know that could happen. And so that was like the first 3 weeks of our marriage.
So I am going to talk about, so if you can imagine, you are somebody that posts on social media, right? And you wake up the next day and there's millions and millions of people that have looked upon your post. So that's kind of the story that we fell into shortly after we got married and into this life of post-marriage, right? So we started spending a lot of time on our phone and checking what was going on. Again, think about it. Like, you do some posting and there's people from all of these countries, millions of people messaging you. So we started checking our phones just to see what was going on. People wanted to hear more about us. They were intrigued about, oh, there's this couple here in Canada. We want to know more about what's going on with them. So we felt kind of a pressure, to post more. So one of the funny comments was people didn't think we were real. They thought we were AI. So that kind of got picked up by news outlets saying that there's this viral couple that just got recently married and people are saying they're AI characters, right? So we've had a lot of requests, and people started posting about us without our permission. Most of the stuff that's gone on around the world we didn't get letters, or we didn't get people asking us for permission. But we found it exciting. It was exciting to see these stories. It was exciting to see that something was captivating people all in these many different countries around the world. And it was really about this idea, is love real? Is true love real? And this is kind of what the question was. But you can imagine that there was thousands of people that we didn't know all over the world, hundreds of thousands of people cheering us on. And it was an very interesting moment. So if you've been on our social media, which I encourage you to go on our Instagram or Facebook, you're going to read some wonderful comments, incredible comments, but you're also going to read comments that people are negative, or people are trolling us. People are poking at us and saying, is Tim rich? Did Anita marry Tim just because of his money? Or, what is this whole thing about? Or did they just get married for publicity? So it's interesting to see some of those comments and how to navigate them. But we had to do that as things went kind of across the world. But it was something we had to deal with. It did take up time, right? Imagine every time you go on your phone, every time you open an app, every time you open a picture, and you read through the comments, that takes time, emotional energy. But we were just amazed about how many people were intrigued about us. People that were genuine. We got some amazing messages from people who were very encouraged by us, and hopefully we'll get to read some of those in future. But it was incredible. So we thank you for the people. If you are some of those people that left some of the comments, we just want to say thank you to you. If you want to go online and leave some more beautiful comments, we'll say thank you.
Yeah, it was obviously something we didn't expect. It's common for people to post their wedding photos on social media. And so it was clear to us that this was really like a gift from God, because we had so many people paying attention to us now. And it's really important to us to actually steward that spotlight well, if you will. So in this live stream, we want to share more about obviously some of the life changes and transitions that have happened, and then also what it means for us, and maybe what it means for you, and hopefully you'll journey with us through that.
So we have Zach, who's saying hi from Uganda.
Hi, Zach.
East Africa. We're so happy that you're joining us. And we have someone from Gainesville, Georgia. And then our friend Woodlums, who has met you.
Yes.
He is saying that you're not.
My Periscope days, 2015 to 2016, 2017.
They're all confirming that we're not imaginary.
Thank you guys for being here. Okay, so what have we been up to since we went viral? We are real people who have real jobs.
Yeah.
And so all the social media stuff that we were dealing with in the last few months, this was all on top of work. So the first 2 months of our marriage, 3 months, 4 months, we spent way too much time on our phones, way more than I planned. I've worked in social media for many years. And so I'm quite conscious of shutting off my phone and not letting it invade my personal time. But we ended up obviously checking that much more from, you would wake up, because it was energizing to see that many people paying attention. So I have been working. So a little bit about me, if you're newer here, I work as a creative strategist, a producer, a director, a photographer, and filmmaker, and doing different media projects. I've worked with travel companies and humanitarian work. Most recently, I got to go to Burundi, which is in East Africa, doing some video and photography for a humanitarian agency in Canada. And then I've also gotten to work with Tim on some of the water work he does. And so telling stories that touch people's hearts has always been the red thread in my career. And so the beautiful thing is to get to apply that to our wedding story and then watch it actually touch people's hearts has been really meaningful to me.
So a little bit about myself is I am a licensed engineer here in Ontario in Canada, and I'm a chemical engineer by education, and I always wanted to give back. So I always believe this idea that you can use what you have, all the giftings that God has given you or that you have, you can find a way to make life better for other people or the world. And I started a charity, co-founded a charity 17 years ago called H2O for All. And that's been taken me around the world doing some wonderful things. And we worked in 12, 13 countries that we have water projects operating, and completed over 100 water projects in 100 communities, impacting over 1.2 million people. And it's just been an incredible journey to see that skill set that I have and being able to give back. My most recent trip to East Africa and to Uganda, and that's where I saw Zach. I hung out with Zach. I spent a lot of time with Zach and Deo and Francis. In October, sorry. We did a water project just then. So I've been very busy in those last little while with that work. And, part of my vocation is being able to do things for other people and finding a way how to do that. And it's been an amazing journey. Yeah.
So now that you know what we've been up to for the last couple months, we have some big news to share. And I'm going to let Tim lead this because
So it's funny, we've been having friends message trying to figure out what the big news is, and trying to determine what some of those items are. But the charity that I co-founded, called H2O for All, has moved in a different direction in the last couple months, which has allowed me to kind of separate from being involved in operations with that, or with H2O for All. So it's been a little bittersweet. It's been a little sad, especially with some of the work that I've been doing. But it also has given an opportunity, which is so exciting, to be able to dream, to be able to look at doing some things with Anita and our new marriage, and to look at building a life that's going to be an incredible one of adventure, and also being involved in different parts of the world, here locally in Canada, but also doing things around the world. So it is exciting. It is something that is, I mentioned, bittersweet. To leave an organization that I co-founded, that I put my life into helping 1.2 million people. And I've spent so much time in villages across the world and with people that are very dear to me. But to now take on that step. So one of the things that we're excited about is we want to start preparing and doing some things together. So this community that has kind of been cheering us on, and it's just happened through getting married, and it's been an incredible thing to see when we got married, that this huge community group of people, these people that are cheering us on from around the world, getting involved in our lives. Now we're going to be able to do some things together. We're going to invite you to be a part of it and how we're going to do it. So you want to talk a little bit about kind of some of the stuff that you've been able to do?
Yeah, to give you an example, so in February 2025, this is before we got married, February of this year, I went to Kenya with H2O for All and helped to film and capture the story of the water project. And so I did a lot of photography there, but then I also captured and created a number of reels. So if you haven't seen them already, you can find them on our Instagrams. They're linked in the description of this live stream. And there are, I think, 8 videos that we made that just share the story, kind of like micro vlogs, but they're also like mini documentaries, like espresso shots of information that share the ins and outs of the humanitarian work in a way that we hope is really easy to understand for people. And that was really fun for us. I've actually done 4 trips with H2O for All. So 2 times to Cuba, and then 2 to Kenya.
That's right.
2 trips in Cuba. And I've also traveled a lot in my own life. Any of you that remember me from before the viralness, I spent many years live streaming and just sharing my journey online as I traveled the world. And so now that we're together and we've had this transition with Tim's work, it's created more space for us to dream, because, you know, he has a skill set and then mine is complementary in terms of being able to like share a spotlight on the things that I believe matter. And then we're curious to see like what can happen when we combine forces. And this was always one of the hearts behind us getting married, like knowing that now we can do cool things together, and this part of our life, getting married, is just, you know, it's solidified. We don't have to like wait and wonder, it's done, and now we can move on. And we connected over the fact that we're both people who believe in using the skills and abilities that we have to make the world better. And so there's been things we've been dreaming of, praying of, you know, even looking at what countries or what types of initiatives we want to do, and what shape that takes in 2026. We will let you know as soon as we know, because we're still discerning and sifting through it. But yeah, it's opened up a new horizon for us. So do you want to share? So now we can share a little bit more about the first look at or a sneak peek at a project that we've been thinking of for a while. Do you want to share anything more about our Better World project, or you feel good? Or is there anything in the chat that we should?
No, we're going to get to some of your questions. So we've had some questions come through previously all week through Facebook and Instagram. We're going to be talking about those in a few minutes. And then a few people that are online right now want to ask anything, we'll kind of get to those in the next few minutes.
Yeah, we'll do Q&A at the end.
Q&A
so if you do have questions for us, just let us know in the chat on this YouTube, and we'll answer them.
Just going back to what you're asking, we're just excited to move into this new chapter together as a married couple, but also be able to invite the friends that we have been able to create all over the world through us getting married. And it's kind of a neat experience. So we're going to kind of share that as time goes by. And we're going to invite you to help make the world better, help make the community that surrounds you better, help, your friends, your family, your children, your loved ones. We're, all of the people that you are connected to somehow through your life. We want to make everything move in that direction, making it better. So we're going to talk about that
whether it's
as time goes on.
Spreading kindness and generosity. We'll see how it all comes together. Okay. Shall I introduce our Hope Store?
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the things that I have been dreaming of for a long time, and is sharing art. So obviously Instagram is a platform for photography, but it's an interesting space because some people are just like posting, what they ate for breakfast, and then other people are posting things that have a bit more meaning and purpose than just what they ate or where they went that week. So and then as I've gotten more involved with telling stories and capturing video and capturing photography, there's always these photos that they like stick in my heart. And so, and then sharing them as art photography for others is something I've always wanted to do. So we came up with this idea, and we're calling it the Hope Store. So it would be kind of like an art store or a gift store, but every item not only is something that gives you hope, it's also going to be something that gives another person hope, because every product will be tied to something. You're responding to comments, right? Okay. He's just typing in the chat for you guys. Every photo will be something that is connected to a cause that we care about. So I'll give you an example, and I'll show you here.
Let's look at some of that. So Anita's just going to show some of the beautiful.
Okay, so this is an example. Nobody has actually seen these photos before, but this one is actually taken in Honduras in April of this year. This is me free diving, and this is an eagle ray. This was taken by my friends Gas and Kiara, who collectively are known as Carpe Diem Holistic. They're free diving instructors I met last year. Was it last year? So they're free diving instructors that I met in Bali. And then here's some more samples. So this is a photo from Nepal when I did the Everest Base Camp trek in March of 2024, March last year. And then this is another example of one from Italy. That was also during my sabbatical last year. And so these are actually pieces that we have in our own house right now and that we love. And they're almost like samples, because to me, if they give me hope and they give me energy in life, then our hope is in 2026, we'll release our first collection in the Hope Store. We're going to start off with art photography that you can have ordered and shipped to your house. And we found a great printer that does incredible. You can see the color on this one is just incredible, and they really pop off.
Yeah.
So we're hoping to have that set up soon, and then there will be a first collection, and every photo will have a story and a cause that goes along with it. So marine conservation is something that I really care about, and the ocean is something that I love and that gives me so much energy in life. So most likely a lot of the water photography will be a portion of the proceeds of every gift in the Hope Store is going to go to a cause that we care about. And so it's going to be a curated, beautiful place where you can just find beautiful gifts. And that's one of the things that we're working on. We don't want to rush it because we don't just want to like that. There's plenty of stuff floating on the internet, and I don't think we don't believe in buying stuff just for the sake of stuff. We want it to be something meaningful that actually fills your spirit with hope at the same time that it gives hope to another.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're excited. About that. Yeah.
Okay. So shall we answer some questions?
Sure. Again, I just wrote, anyone's on the chat, feel free to ask away. We have a couple questions.
Why don't we answer the ones in the chat first?
Sure. Can't wait to hear the big news. Are you both Christians? And if so,
the big news is the fact that Tim has stepped back from his organization, and we are incubating and discerning what's next.
Yeah, which is super exciting. It's super exciting to be in this unknown moment, because we know of the wonderful things that we're anticipating. Guess how Tim's last name is pronounced? Does it rhyme with
the way you pronounce it is?
Oh, that's okay.
It does rhyme with tutu. It's Mutu.
Mutu, yeah. So okay. Thank you for that one. Are you both Christians? And if so, what's your testimony?
We are Christians.
We are Christians.
Well, I grew up, but I would say a testimony is a very big answer. There's a very big question.
Yeah, we can direct them. I encourage you to go to our website.
Yeah.
AnitaandTim.com, which will kind of explain a little bit more about our testimony. But I'm a Christian. Anita's a Christian. We grew up with Christian parents, and we've been on a wonderful journey.
Yeah. And I would also add that because even the word Christian is a very loaded word, that for us, we are accepting and understanding, if I could say, of people of different faiths. And I think we've both lived and journeyed long enough to know that like someone's faith journey is not linear, and it's an evolving thing. And I think the big thing is having a relationship with God just makes life that much more beautiful. And so if you read our love story, you'll see how our faith and prayer and our belief in a good God is a natural part of our lives.
Yeah, and if I'd encourage you to go back and look at some of our posts. So some of our posts actually talk about some of those things that we've journeyed through. And even the last one that you posted that went viral again, talking about what about me?
There's still hope.
There's still hope, right? So I encourage you to look at that. But great question.
Let's answer some questions. I think that's all that I see.
Yeah.
I saw. So let's answer some questions from our Instagram. So I got some questions off of my social media, and so did Tim. So we're just going to answer a few here. And we'll start off with what city and country are you from? A question I got on Instagram.
Are we going with you and me?
You can start.
Okay, so we are located just outside Toronto. Toronto is the largest city in the country of Canada by population, and we live about 30 minutes by car outside of Toronto. And I was born in Canada. Yeah.
So we're both born in Canada.
Yeah.
Both born in Ontario, and my parents are from Hong Kong. So I'm Chinese Canadian. And your parents?
And my mother's from Trinidad, the beautiful island of Trinidad. My father, my late father, is from Guyana, South America. So I'm half Trini and half Guyanese.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and then another question off of my Instagram. You want to read it?
Sure. Do you ever argue? So this is a good one. And if so, how do you handle it? So that's a great question. We've had a lot of questions over time about how does this relationship work. We are 5 months married. We celebrated our 5th month just a week or two ago.
Yeah.
So I still call ourselves newlyweds. But let's talk about it for a couple of minutes. Did we ever argue? And if so, how do we handle it?
So we communicate very well, and that's probably one of our strengths. We're both very communicative and sensitive to each other's moods and feelings. So when arguments come up, I think we just try to listen honestly to what's actually happening. And I think even just yesterday, I was getting upset at something, and then later in the day, I apologized. So I think having a sense of humility helps a lot, and then just genuine understanding and empathy. Like if we actually care about each other, which we do, then we want to hear when someone is off. And then for me, I think having an awareness of like, sometimes it's just like, I'm tired, or we're both tired, and we've been, we have too many things on our plate. So it's really about like the energy management side, and not so much about like trying to win a fight, but just like, how can we, maybe have less stress, something like that. So we try to problem solve together.
Yeah. So that word argue is an interesting one. I like the word debate, or like, I love when there's a little bit of good conflict or good, you don't want to just be like, yes, Anita, yes, Tim. We want to challenge each other in a healthy way. We want to respect each other in a healthy way. We want each other to be free to give their opinion and, to debate that. Sometimes we're tired and we don't want to even talk about it, but we want to communicate about it, right? We don't want to let those things sit under non-communicative rooms. We want to communicate. So, yes. Do we argue, or do we debate, or do we challenge each other? Yes. And how do we handle it? We are open to it. We're open to saying, let's talk about whatever's bothering us. Let's talk about talking about coming on today. We've talked it through. What should we talk about? We've kind of mulled through it. We want to give respect each other, what their opinion is. And so that's what I would say is, in a relationship, let each other, Anita's very different than I. And I'm very different than Anita. And I don't want to turn Anita into Tim, nor does Anita want to turn Tim into Anita. So we want to celebrate our differences. We want to celebrate the fact that we are handling things different. So I would say, don't be afraid to engage a little bit.
Yeah. So now I see we have some questions online, but let's answer this one first from Instagram.
Okay.
Is a good one. So Tim, this is a question from Tim on Instagram. What kind of prayer should I pray before meeting my spouse?
So this is something that a lot of people have wondered. How does a guy like Tim, who people don't know me around the world, right? So hundreds of millions of people look at a picture of me, and whatever lens they put on or have on their outlook of me, because if they look at my physicality, they're like, well, I wonder how this guy ended up with this beautiful young lady. So I think prayer is something that is honest. When I think about the word prayer, it's something that you are saying that is honest from the depths of who you are to a spiritual being, right? So I would say, what do you pray for, or how do you pray? I would say you be honest, right? And the challenge that we've had with people online is, a lot of people are thinking that the way life is with money or possessions is the way that you would find a spouse. So a lot of people say, well, Tim has a lot of money. That's how he attracted Anita. Tim has whatever, right? So the way that I would say to pray is that you would humble yourself and say, who am I? So I would think that one of the first things that I had to do was be comfortable with me. And I don't want to keep this too long, but you have to be comfortable with you before someone will be comfortable with you. So if I'm not comfortable with who I am, how can I expect that Anita, who has fallen in love with me, would be comfortable with me? So I think the first thing to do is pray or say a prayer that I want to be comfortable with who I am.
That you
right?
actually like yourself.
That you like
first.
yourself. So how do you expect other people to like you and fall in love with you if you don't? And that rubs off. You might say, well, I don't have to worry about that, but it does rub off in your energy and who you are. If you don't like yourself, it's going to rub off quickly to somebody that you might like. So I would say this, and I'll end it right here, is your prayer should be first about self-discovery, self-love, and then through that you will discover who you want to pray for. So once you discover who you are, it will come to your mind and heart and say, that is the type of person that I would like to have as my girlfriend or spouse or boyfriend or spouse. And I'll keep it simple as that. Is that okay? Is that good?
Yeah. And I would just highlight that if you pray honestly, because in the end, nobody else needs to hear your prayer other than God or, whatever higher power you believe in. But, we would say God, if you pray honestly, then you're praying, then that is the most that you could ask for. If you're going to pray shallow prayers that it's like, I'm just going to copy paste somebody else's prayers, that's not really what you want anyway. And I think God meets us when we are honest. And then it's about taking time to listen and understand, to hear from God and see what God wants to say back to you.
All right, let's jump to Zach in Uganda. Zach's got a couple ones coming all the way from East Africa. He is up late at night. When or how soon are you traveling to Uganda? So we're working on some stuff, and we're hope to be back in East Africa in 2026. We're just trying to figure that out.
Stay tuned. That's all I'm gonna say.
The wonderful thing of this moment that we're in, we're going to be announcing some things in the next little while, but
you'll know when we know.
Yeah, and the exciting part is all of the people that we love and care about around the world, we will continue to care about. So the answer is yes, and we'll figure out that time. Let me continue with Zach, because we have him here before he goes to bed late at night here in Uganda. Is there anything you honestly say, I don't like about your spouse? Would you be open about it? So can you be honest to say that there's something you don't like about each other? And would you be open about that?
I think we have been.
Yeah.
I think because when you under the foundation of our marriage, of our relationship, is that we love and appreciate the heart of the person.
Right.
And then when there's things you don't like about someone, that's, those tend to be more like idiosyncrasies, like little habits that we just grew up differently. And so we have different habits for certain things. And so, and then it comes down to like communicating it in a way that is kind. And I think that's one of our strengths, and we pray it continues to be one of our strengths, that because sometimes it's just differences of habits, and like how often we clean or we do the dishes. And it's I think one of our mottos that helps us a lot is that we're on the same team.
Right.
That we're a team together. And when you approach life that way, then it's not about me against you and what I do or don't like about you. It's really like we're on a team. God has put us together. So how can we work together to problem solve or move forward, no matter what the situation is, whether it's a big deal or a small deal?
Yeah, and one of my things in life is to celebrate differences, right? Your differences actually make you stronger. If we were all the same, if every single person, 8 billion people are like me, that's not a good thing. We want diversity. We want difference of opinions. We don't want people we want differences to make us stronger. So if Anita's different on certain things, which she is, if I'm different on certain things, we want to say yes. If there are things that are hindering our marriage or affecting each other, then we need to talk about it. If I'm doing something that I don't even know, right, that's affecting Anita and vice versa, then we need to talk about it. So yes, I would say, be honest and talk about it. And would you be open about it? So that's a yes to Zach. Thank you, Zach, all the way from East Africa. So we're going to continue with a couple more of these, Anita.
So let's answer a fun question. Yes. Do we do we both drive? Yes, we do. And I mean, I definitely drive, and then you can share more.
Yeah,
How Tim drives.
if you've seen some of our videos, you might have seen me driving when we're on our honeymoon, and you're like, so how does he reach the gas pedal and the brake pedal? Hopefully, I'm reaching the brake pedal, but I have extensions, right? I have pedal extensions that accommodate me to drive. I've been driving for many years, and we are able to get around. And I've driven in many countries around the world. I rent cars from many places around the world. I'm excited about that. So yes, absolutely.
Okay.
So Anita's Facebook.
Should we do this as our last one?
Yeah, sure.
I see one, and then we'll answer one more chat one. Okay. So a question on my Facebook, which is, what has marriage taught us about ourselves? So I feel like we're too early in our marriage to have a wise answer for this quite yet. There's people who've been married much longer. But for me right now, I think marriage has taught me to take responsibility for my actions and for how I affect people. And then it's also taught me it's also like all of life, it's teaching me new ways that God is shaping me and forming me. And I think being with someone all the time is one of those mirrors to who we really are. And so, I can see the different ways that God is using this to shape us, and and I'm curious where it will take us.
Yeah, so I would say marriage, and once you read our love story and learn more about us, I've been on a wonderful journey before I got married to Anita. And I would say take your time. So a lot of people around the world are in a rush, or they feel society is rushing them, or their parents or culture is rushing them. Marriage is probably the biggest decision we've made in my life, who I was going to marry. And I would say take your time. Don't feel rushed. Don't feel just getting married for the sake of it. So what marriage has taught about me, it's actually really opened up the door about, what are these things that someone else that I love, making sure that I am somebody that they would want to love. It's hard to love somebody that you're not thinking about those certain things, right? So I think about myself and I say, would Anita appreciate me doing this? Or am I going to continue a habit that's going to affect Anita? Or is this certain way that I've done for 10 years going to help our marriage? So marriage has really helped me kind of figure out, well, now there's two people on the team, not just me. There's two people on the team, and are my actions conducive in helping the two people? Before, my actions were just about me. So I think what it's taught me, let's figure out how the team's going to win. During the hard times, how can I support Anita? How can she support me? So it's figuring that out. And when we're tired, a lot of us, we get tired. A lot of us, we get exhausted. This world is a very exhausting world. It takes a lot of physical strength, emotional strength, spiritual strength. So we have to be able to navigate those things, and it's taught us a great amount. These 5 and a little bit of months. A lot more to come.
And then I think we'll answer one more. So why don't we ask? Somebody was asking, do we have siblings?
Yeah.
I've had a couple people ask if I have a sister. I do have a sister, but she is married, and then an older sister and a younger brother.
Yeah, I have 2 older brothers, and so I'm the youngest of 3, and Anita is the middle child of 3.
Yes.
So that's the birth order. If you've ever read about birth order in marriage, you'll see that we're not in the same birth order. Yeah.
Okay. Shall we wrap up?
Yeah. So thank you. Thank you. We've come to a close of our live stream.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed this update on us, and the big transition for Tim, which is opening up some new space for us, is something that is a work in progress. So we'll let you know, and we'll as it unfolds, we'd love to invite you on that journey with us, whatever it looks like. And we also want to do these live streams every quarter, and we plan to do the next one in March, and we're positive that we'll have some bigger updates when that time comes. So in the meantime, stay connected through our social media. You can join our mailing list on our website if you want. And then if you haven't already, as we mentioned, our love story is written up on our website. You can, if you're finding more nitty gritty things like how we met, if you're wondering about stuff like that, you can find that all there.
But thank you. Yeah. This has been fun. And thank you for joining in, especially people all over the world and our friends who are staying up pretty late. Yeah. We're excited that this is going to be restreamed. It's going to stay on the internet, stay on YouTube. So we're going to reshare it to people that haven't been able to jump on at this moment, which we're excited about. So if you're watching this on a restream, again, thank you for joining us on the restream. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, thank you guys for watching. We will see you soon. And until then, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
See you soon.